I promised this more than a week ago, but sadly I have had a rather excellent cold, and I still have a rather excellent cold, so if my voice is a bit iffy today, that's why. Anyway, I finally managed to get my act together to put together the summary for Phase 4, I think we're up to now, of Tess of the D'Urbervilles. And fingers crossed, if you're all very, very good boys and girls, I might even manage to get Phase 5 done today. I know I'm dreadfully good to you. Incidentally, no tea companies have taken me up on my sincere offer to be sponsored by them. No matter how much tea I drink, they are still not getting in touch. Hey ho. Right, to Tess of the D'Urbervilles Phase 4. The fourth phase starts with Angel going home to visit his family in Emminster. His time at Talbothy's has made Angel seem somehow common to his brothers, who have now become ordained ministers. That's Felix and Cuthbert. Terribly posh names. Conversely, Angel now sees his brothers as narrow-minded and snobbish. He discusses his marriage with his father, or his potential marriage with his father, and his parents have long been of the idea that he would marry a local school mistress called Mercy Chant. Angel tells them that if he's going to be a successful farmer, he will need to have a practical wife who understands about farming, not someone who is bookish and refined, which is basically to suggest that Tess is not bookish or refined or capable of intellectual thought, which is massively offensive to her. Anyway, so leaving aside this insult to Tess, we learn that his parents will agree to meet her to judge her suitability for their son as a wife. As a small part of the conversation, his dad, who is an evangelical minister, he goes out and he actively tries to spread the word of his belief. He mentions that he attempted to convert but failed with a local ruffian called one Alec d'Urberville. Anyway, Angel goes back to the dairy and he asks Tess to marry him. She panics because she knows that Angel thinks that she is a virgin, but she's not, and she can't bring herself to tell him about her unfortunate past in case he loses any admiration for, any affection for her, essentially, in case he dumps her on the spot. She prevaricates and hums and ahs, but eventually, after considerable persistence by Angel, she accepts his offer. Of course, she explains away her reluctance to accept him by way of saying that she had heard him talk about how he hated old families and that he would be angry if he discovered that the Derbyfield name was actually a spin-off from the ancient d'Urberville line. However, quite the contrary, he expresses his delight at this information, as this would make his family more likely to accept Tess as a daughter-in-law. With the wedding day approaching, Tess becomes increasingly panicky and writes to her mother for advice, which is immensely logical, bearing in mind how fantastically useful a mother has been in the past. Joan replies that Tess should leave her past alone and not tell Angel. Then, when out in Trantridge with Angel, Tess is recognised by Farmer Groby, a character we saw briefly earlier and who will return later, and he makes a crude reference to Tess's sexual history. Angel overhears this remark and has a bit of a strop with Groby. When they return to Talbothy's, Tess makes up her mind to finally tell Angel the truth, and to hell with the consequences. She writes him a letter and slips it under his bedroom door one evening. The next day, he is entirely unchanged. And Tess thinks that everything is fine. However, she discovers when she slipped the letter under the door of his room, she actually slipped it under the carpet as well, and Angel never saw it. Overwhelmed with panic and fear because she's accepted the offer of marriage, she destroys the letter. The pair are married, with Tess absolutely fraught. But on morning of the wedding, she hears a cock crowing on the farm, and she interprets this as a bad omen for the marriage. All the way through the novel, we're seeing omens, usually from the world of the countryside. These are not formal omens or symbols that you might read in the Bible. These are from local folklore, and this is one of them. So Tess believes that the marriage has got off to a very bad start with this omen. However, the wedding passes off without incident, and the pair spend their wedding night at an old mansion, which, coincidentally, used to belong to the d'Urberville family. Is that another bad omen? Well, we'll see. Angel gives Tess some diamonds that belonged to his grandmother, and he confesses to Tess that he once had an affair with an older woman in London. And Tess briefly feels her heart lift with the possibility. And she is sure that this means that if she can forgive Angel for his transgressions, he will surely forgive her own past. And so she tells him everything. That's it. Any questions or feedback or offers of tea sponsorship? Twitter at Mr. Connor1 and the website www.mrconnor.com. Thank you. I hope this was useful.